Okay, so today I'm going to read The Three Little Pigs, which is one of our fairy tales. It says, retold by Brenda Parks and Judith Smith. They are the people that wrote the words, redid the words for the fairy tale. Illustrated by Esther Caspu. Okay, so there's the front of our book. It says, once upon a time there were three little pigs. They lived with their mother. One day the mother pig said, "Little pigs, you are big now. You must build your own houses." So off went the three little pigs to build their own houses. The first pig found some straw, so he built his house of straw. The second pig found some sticks, so he built his house of sticks. But the third pig wanted a strong house, so he built his house of bricks. One day, the first little pig was making his dinner. So when he heard a knock at the door, he peeped out the window. There at the door stood a big, bad wolf. Little pig, let me in," said the wolf. "No, no," cried the first little pig, "not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," said the big bad wolf. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in. The first little pig ran to his brother's house. He ran inside and slammed the door. Then the wolf knocked at the door of the second little pig's house. Little pig, let me in," said the wolf. "No, no," cried the second little pig, "not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," said the big bad wolf. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in. The two little pigs ran to their brother's house. They ran inside and slammed the door. Then the wolf knocked at the door of the third little pig's house. Little pig, let me in," said the wolf. "No, no," cried the third little pig, "not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," said the big bad wolf. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but he couldn't blow the house in. All was quiet. "He's gone," whispered the first little pig. Thump! Just then the three pigs heard a bump and a thump. Something was scraping on the side of the house. So the three little pigs looked out of the window. There was the big bad wolf. He was climbing up a ladder. "He's coming," shouted the second little pig. "Quick," yelled the third little pig, "I've got a pot of boiling water. Let's put it under the chimney." The three little pigs got the pot, and they put it under the chimney. "Look," said the first little pig, "I can see his foot." "Look," said the second little pig, "I can see his body." "Look," said the third little pig, "here he comes." The big bad wolf fell into the pot. With a yell, the big bad wolf jumped out of the pot. He ran out the door and down the road far, far away. The three little pigs never saw the big bad wolf again, and they lived happily ever after. And that's the back of the book. See you next time. Okay, so today I'm going to read the true story of the three little pigs. As told to John Skezia, illustrated by Lane Smith. He drew all the pictures. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So of course the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch and I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And, well, you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a bit better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This little guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed again. And then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story a bit with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. That's the end. Okay, so now I wanted to do a compare and contrast on the 2 stories we just read. The regular 3 Little Pigs and the true story of the 3 Little Pigs. So, this circle is going to be things about the true story. And this circle is going to be about the regular. And here in the middle, this is how they are the same. The things that are the same about the 3 Little Pigs. So the things that I noticed that were the same was they both had a wolf. They both had 3 pigs. Okay. Something I noticed also is this one has a mom. Let's see, what else? This one had police in it.